You already know what you're capable of. That's the worst part. You're not stuck because you're weak. You're not stuck because the world is unfair. You're stuck because some part of you, the deepest, most honest part, already knows exactly what you need to do. And you haven't done it. This video isn't about motivation. Motivation dies. This is about something older. Something they can't take from you. Let me tell you about a specific kind of pain. Not the pain of losing, the pain of almost. You almost started. You almost committed. You almost became the person you could see so clearly in your head. And then something happened. Something small. Something invisible. And you retreated. And the retreat felt rational. That's the trap. Your mind built you a story so clean, so reasonable, that you didn't even notice it was a cage. Maybe someone told you early that you were too much, or not enough. Maybe you failed once, really failed, and your nervous system filed that under. Don't try again. Maybe you watched everyone around you settle, and settling started to look like wisdom. None of that is the truth. That is sediment. That is the residue of other people's fear that you mistook for your own. Here's what nobody tells you about being stuck. It's not a lack of movement. It's a specific kind of movement. Backward. Every day you stay in the same place. Something in you gets smaller. Quietly. Like a fire that nobody feeds. Who were you before the world told you what was possible? Before the comparisons? Before the failures, before you learned to protect yourself from disappointment by never expecting anything. That version of you didn't need to be convinced. That version of you ran. You were never weak, not as comfort as diagnosis. You were never weak. What you are is trained. And training can be undone. Let's talk about why 99% stay stuck. Not philosophy. Mechanics. Fear. Not of failure. Fear of success, of becoming someone unfamiliar to yourself, of outgrowing the people you love. That fear doesn't announce itself. It shows up as procrastination, as perfectionism, as I'll start Monday, as I'm not ready yet. Most people believe resources are the problem. Time, money, connections. They wait for permission from a world that is constitutionally incapable of giving it. The people who break free didn't get more time. They stopped spending time on the version of themselves that needed permission. There's a wall. You know the one. It doesn't roar. It just appears, right when momentum builds. Right when something real starts to take shape. Every story worth telling has this wall. I want you to think about someone in your life who stopped, who had fire and let someone extinguish it, who traded a dream for safety, who is now a cautionary tale told in whispers. They used to be something. Do you see them? Now understand, the universe is preparing to make that story about you. And it is not emotional about it. You are carrying something they can't see. You've survived things that would have broken people who look more put together than you. The nights you didn't talk about. The moments you rebuilt yourself in silence. You think that doesn't count. It counts for everything. Here is the mechanism of stagnation stripped bare. You have a gap between who you are today and who you need to become. That gap is supposed to burn. But instead of burning toward it, most people build a life that makes the gap invisible. Comfort, numbing, constant stimulation. Anything to avoid standing in that burning space long enough to change. The self-doubt is not evidence of your limits. It is evidence of your awareness. You can see what you're capable of. That's why it hurts. That's why you're still here. That wall, you know what it's made of? Not your enemies. Not your circumstances. Not the past. It's made of the last version of you, refusing to die. Every wall you hit is a shedding, a version of you that can't come where you're going, staging one final protest. You don't break through the wall, you outgrow it. So who breaks free? The 1% aren't special. They're ruthless about one thing: they refuse to negotiate with the version of themselves that wants to stay comfortable. That's it. No secret, no advantage. Just a decision made over and over every single day in the dark when no one is watching. Fear with motion, that's the formula. Stop waiting for certainty. Certainty is for people who aren't going anywhere. The ones who move scared. 5 years from now, there are two versions of you. One stayed, one moved. The one who stayed is safe, familiar. A good reason for every year they didn't change. The one who moved, unrecognizable. Not because life was easy, because they stopped asking life to be easy. We talk about the cost of trying. We never talk about the cost of not trying. The cost is everything, just paid slowly. In years, in mornings that feel like copies of each other, in a quiet that isn't peace. It's just the absence of living at full volume. Most people don't fail dramatically. They just dim, gradually, politely, until one day they realize they've become a background character in their own life. That is the real cost. Not failure. Dimming. Something in you is waking up right now. Don't dismiss it. That tightness in your chest, that restlessness, that's not anxiety. That's recognition. You're recognizing yourself. You didn't end up stuck because you were broken. You ended up stuck because you were protecting something real. The dreams that terrify you most are the ones that actually belong to you, the ones that feel presumptuous to speak out loud. Those aren't delusions. Those are blueprints. The moment everything changes isn't loud. It doesn't come with music. It comes when the pain of staying finally outweighs the fear of moving. And you make a decision. Not a plan. Not a goal. A decision about who you are. Everything you've been through, the failures, the embarrassments, the years that felt wasted, the relationships that carved you hollow. That's not damage. That's density. You are denser than the people who had it easy. Denser means more mass. More mass means more force. When you finally move, nothing is going to stop you. Most people watch until here. They feel something deeply, and then they close the tab and go back to what was comfortable. Tomorrow the feeling is quieter. Next week it's gone. Feeling without commitment is just entertainment. So here's what I'm asking. Not a subscription, not a share. I'm asking you to make a decision right now about who you are from this point forward, not what you'll do tomorrow, who you are. Starting now, the people who break free, it starts with an identity shift, not a habit shift. You don't build the discipline. You become the person for whom not doing it feels wrong. You don't need more time. You need to stop treating yourself like a draft. You've been in draft mode your entire life, waiting to be polished enough, ready enough, safe enough to hit publish. You are not a draft. You never were. You are the final version. Everything else was just noise that needed to be outrun. The conflict ends here. Not because the struggle disappears, because you stop fighting yourself. You asked who you are without the cage. You knew at 7 years old, before the world taught you to shrink. You are someone who is made to build something, to leave something behind, to be, in some specific and irreplaceable way, necessary. That hasn't changed. It was just waiting. So what do you do with it? You start. Not tomorrow. Not when you're ready. Readiness is a myth sold to people the world needs to keep still. You start imperfect, loud, messy, unsure. And you keep starting. Every day until starting becomes being. Every version of you that didn't make it, they didn't fail. They built you. Every attempt that collapsed, every morning you woke up and started over with less energy and more doubt, that wasn't loss. That was construction. You are not behind. You are loaded. The version of you that breaks free doesn't arrive one day like a visitor. It emerges. It's already in motion. That thing you've been calling restlessness? That's not restlessness. That's direction. You watch this far because something in you is refusing. Refusing to settle. Refusing to dim. Refusing to become the cautionary tale. That refusal is not frustration. That refusal is identity. Everyone is waiting for the moment they become themselves. No one ever tells you you already are.